Hey, what's up guys, Tony here, and in my last video I had mentioned that I wanted to do a commentary talking about my experiences in the Indy 500 and sort of my experiences with oval in general, because I've already explained that I just don't like oval. That's what I keep saying I don't like NASCAR, but pretty much I was talking about oval racing. I didn't really think that oval racing was all that fun, but this weekend has been an eye-opening experience for me. It's I hate to sound like that because like before I was just like, I'm only gonna race road, I'm not gonna race oval, and this weekend has totally transformed my thinking. Now some stuff I'm not, like I said, I'm not interested in NASCAR really, but it seems like a means to the end. So before I get on to my thoughts about oval, I want to talk about the Indy 500 really quick and give my experiences during the Indy 500. So first of all, I practiced for the Indy 500 more than I practiced for any other race, single race ever, since I started iRacing a couple months ago. And I put in probably about 7 hours, and maybe that might be just a little bit on the conservative side, but I put in a substantial amount of time to get into the Indy 500 and to become a competent driver. Now I think I've got areas of improvement for sure, as all drivers do, but I'm really satisfied with what I walked away with, because when I first started, my very first shot, and I actually, it was funny because when I saw the Indy 500 up and available to run, I was like, okay, sure, why not? I like the Indy 500. Why not? Let's go for it. And the first hour, I spent spinning out. I barely could get one lap done. I'd get around one lap, and the next lap, to record time, I would spin out and crash. So I'd have to start all over again. So the first lap time I really remember recording, I might have recorded like a minute and 2 lap time or whatever. But the first one I was kind of sort of proud of was 50 seconds. I was like, okay, 50 seconds, that's not bad. I mean, and then I saw the standings and guys were running 40 seconds. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really slow. I'm the slow guy. And so from there, it was a steady progression where it was 50 seconds, and then it was 47 seconds, and then it was 46 seconds. I'm like, okay, cool. This is sort of my norm. And then for road racing, my norm is I can usually get to about 3 or 4 seconds behind the fastest guy. And for me, that's the position that I've always been. So I was okay with that. So I was like 46 seconds, like that's slower than I normally am, but I'm into a whole new arena here in open wheel oval racing. But then I got tremendous help and tremendous coaching from my buddy Robin and my buddy Andy, long-time iRacers. And guys, I've been talking about these guys the last couple of videos. And I've been talking about, I mean, Andy, Robin, there's videos, Battlefield 3 videos with them in there, and for Robin, baseball videos as well. But the thing is, though, is that these guys are really knowledgeable about iRacing as well. And Robin is a dedicated oval racer, so he knows oval racing, in the ins and outs of oval racing. So I really appreciate both those guys taking the time to help me out, coach me, help me on my lines, help me with setups. Robin and Andy first, and then Robin second. They both gave me tremendous setups, and going from the baseline setup to the setup that I eventually ran, I took my lap times from 50 seconds down to 50 seconds down to 40.043, almost a 39-second lap time, which was the fastest that I had seen. 39 seconds. I was like, if I'm running 39s, I'm running just as fast as the top guys in my bracket, my rookie Indy bracket. So for me to go from 50 seconds to 40, an average of 40 to 41 second lap times, I was ecstatic. I was so happy with the progression that I saw in 7 hours of practice. I mean, I was blown away by just kind of how quickly I was able to pick it up, and sort of the dedication that I had for it. So like I said, I can't really thank Robin and Andy enough. They really helped out, and I know Robin's going to be instrumental in the future, because I do want to get into oval, because it's sort of a means to an end. I want to get back to open wheel oval racing. This was such an exhilarating experience. I honestly can't tell you how exhilarating the experience was. because it's these huge, I mean, it was 28 cars when it was in the last one. And so to have all those cars, you know, and racing at the speeds that you're racing, it was exhilarating. I like I said, I can't really put it into words. And so I'm really looking forward to next year. I want to run this again, and the next time I run, I don't want to run in class rookie and D. I want to run in A, B class, or I think it's A, B, C, or maybe C is sort of like in this, you have to be A, B, or rookie and D, so you're kind of screwed. So I really want to run it again next year. I'm so looking forward to next you know, Memorial Day weekend when the 500 comes around again, because I want to run it again. I am so I'm ecstatic and excited, but also there's a point, like, I feel a little cheated because and I was telling everyone this, I'm not mad, I'm not frustrated, I'm just I guess I'm a little disappointed, but you know, there was just so much that I built up, there's so much hype into this race that I built up for myself because I spent so long practicing. I spent 7 hours or thereabouts practicing, and for me to only run, I got 20 laps done for both races combined. So out of 400 total laps that I wanted to run, I ran 20. That's 5%. I ran 5% in the Indy 500, and it wasn't because, you know, I lost control of the car and I crashed. I got hit, and you guys saw in the video that I had put up. And so if you haven't seen it, check the description. I'll put it in there, and you can see the overview. It's got live comms in there, and I show some replays and stuff like that. So I did 5%, you know, and so I'm really excited for it to come around again, and I'm really excited for me to take a leap and do something that is sort of outside my comfort zone. Oval is really outside my comfort zone. I just you know, not really into it as far as like the NASCAR thing is, but I realize that if I want to get back to the 500 and I want to race in the top race and see, and that's another thing, Robin had this totally exhilarating race of his own the first night. So it was Friday night, and he was in first place most of the race. And so when I came in, he had like 14 laps left to go, and he was still in first place, and these 3 guys were battling it out. It was him and these 2 other guys were battling it out for first place. And it was such an exhilarating thing to watch. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And not only was it cool to watch because it was cool to watch, it was really intense, and I could relate to it because I had already gone through a smidge of what he had gone through. But it was also my buddy Robin. He was in the thick of it. So I was excited for him. I was nervous for him. So it was really cool. And I guess that's another thing about the community. It's like, it's kind of cool to have these interactions, and when you get to know people, you can really root for them. Because to be honest, for the most part, motorsports in general, I love motorsports, but I don't really follow any motorsports. And I kind of see myself maybe changing that. Maybe I might start paying attention to the Indy 500 a little bit more, to some of these other races a little bit more, especially Formula One. So I can see a little bit of a change in myself. Now, there's one thing, a big thing that I learned this time around that I'm going to apply next time is I didn't qualify. And it's not that I didn't want to qualify, it's just that iRacing has this weird thing that I found out too late. When you go, normally when you hit race now, it brings up whatever car that you're in, and it automatically puts you in the sessions that you're already eligible for. So you can go sessions, qualify, boom, done. Well, when I did that, it said that my license wasn't eligible for the qualification. I was like, what? That's crap. Why can't I qualify? Like, I can qualify for everything else. Well, the problem was it put me into the A-B category, and so I would have had to manually go up, click on the Indy 500 R for rookie, so I'd qualify for the race that way. And so I didn't know that, so I didn't qualify. So, you know, obviously you saw I was 25th place race 1, and then 17th place race 2. And I don't know if they take like your fastest lap time. I think what they do is they do iRating, and I guess the highest iRating down to the lowest iRating. Anyways, the thing is, I got stuck in the back of the pack, and I found out, and Robin told me, and I trust his knowledge and his experience, but I really wanted to experience it for myself. He told me to start from the pits. I wanted to start in the grid. And I did, and obviously in race 2 we saw what happened, and you know, I got hit because the guy just, you know, he took the turn too wide and corrected to the left, and you know, he smashed into me, and that was the first lap, and I'm like, great, I'm done after not even a lap. But basically what I realized is that if I would have qualified, and if I could have qualified with such a fast time of say like 40.040 or whatever it was, I would have been at the top of the pack, probably top 5 or something like that, and I would have been in a far safer position, because those guys generally, I'm gonna say generally, are going to be safer drivers, better drivers, because there was a lot of really bad drivers in the rookie, and that's to be expected. It's rookie. But that was probably the major thing that I learned. The second major thing is just some of the aspects of the car and setting up buttons, because before I didn't bother to set up buttons, as far as like quick accessible buttons on the wheel, on the shifter. So that became something that I found it was very useful, like having the rev limiter for pitting, so you don't have a black flag when you're coming out of the pits. The weight jacketer on both sides of the thumb, the positive and negative. Having the different black boxes accessible immediately. A touch of the finger, and not like reaching over to my keyboard, taking my hand off the keyboard and like reaching to my left to touch my keyboard. Because my keyboard, the way my thing's set up, my desk, I have to move it aside because the tray won't come out if my wheel's right in front of me. So there was little things that I learned. So those were exciting. I was like, okay, cool, this is awesome. But really, what it boils down to is I learned a little bit about myself, as far as, like what it is that I find thrilling about iRacing, and what I find thrilling about just motorsports. And I mean, it's a competition. It really is. It boils down to competition. So that's, I'm going to end right there as far as what did I learn in the experience that I had at the Indy 500. It was a tremendous experience, and I'm making it out to be much bigger than it really was, because I mean, when you boil it down to it, it's just an online simulation, but it was so immersive, and I know I put myself into it so much that I feel as if, to me, it was a bigger thing than it really was. But anyways, so I want to move on to the oval racing. What I discovered is that oval racing is actually fun, because before I thought oval racing was kind of boring. It's like go around a circle. I tried the I think it's the street stock class, and I kept spinning out because it's this big ass heavy American muscle car that's designed to go around in a circle, and it's not this nimble open wheel car that can take these turns at 200 plus miles an hour. So I was just like, this is boring, this is dumb. But I realize now that if I want to get to the open wheel, I need to pay my dues. I need to earn my stripes, and so I'm going to be racing oval for a while as well. I'm gonna balance oval with road, because I really love road racing. I really do. It's difficult, it's technical, and it's got cool cars, like like I got the Mustang, I got the Skip Barber car. It's a pain in the ass to drive, but I really want to get it down. I still like the Miata. It is still that fun little bang around car. There's the Kia Optima that I purchased. I want to get into Star Mazda. Want to get up to a high enough ranking, I get up to the C class license. But there's things I want to do in road racing. But on the flip side, I do want to get more oval stuff done, so I can get back to the Indy 500 and have a chance to do well in the Indy 500 and get those those feelings, get those feelings back. But not only participate in 5% of the race, but on 100% of the race. I want to be one of those guys. And to let you guys know, what I didn't mention in the video is that in the first race, 4 people finished out of 28. Everyone else disconnected because they crashed. So 4 people. 4! And then in the second race, 7 people finished. Everyone else was disconnected because they crashed. I mean, that's the attrition rate in the rookie D-class race. It's huge. There's just either it's bad drivers, because I mean they're all new rookie drivers, so it's probably a lot of road racers who don't race oval. They're like, I want to race in the 500. Let's go! Because there was a lot of people asking for setups this morning, or Saturday morning on race day. So it shows me that I actually want to get into that higher tier. I want to race with those really good oval racers, because obviously racing with the rookie D-class guys, like I said in the video, I felt like I was playing Minesweeper. You're just like dodging cars, and you have no idea when a car is going to come out of nowhere, or someone's going to crash in a spot where you don't know why'd they crash there. It's just kind of like, how did you crash there? And they crash there, and then they bounce back and they hit you. So that's what I see. And so it's funny, because there was a part of me that was getting a little down on iRacing, just because I wasn't progressing You know, like I bought the Mustang, and like the courses I don't really like them because they're really narrow, they're really small. They don't let the Mustang open up and really roar. It's these weird. It's like precision racing with a Mustang. You know, it doesn't seem to make sense. The Skip Barber car is extremely difficult and takes a lot of dedication to get it down. The Kia Optima is a car that, and the Jetta as well, they're really difficult to drive because they're so different from these other cars that are rear-wheel drive. You know, they're front-wheel drive cars, and I don't have a lot of track, so it's like I got these cars I want to run, and I'm sort of this jack-of-all-trades, master of nothing sort of thing. So I was getting down on iRacing because it was taking more time to keep going back and forth from cars, and so this way I think, you know, it'll give me the opportunity to keep banging around with the cars that I want, but also, like I said, have a goal in mind, like get onto the open wheel oval cars, because I really think, to be honest, I think that's where I'd really have the most fun, is doing the open wheel oval racing. That's really fun. And if you got a chance, if you're watching this video and you had a chance to participate in the Indy 500, you might agree with me as well, as far as like that's a really exciting event. And so basically, anyways, the last thing I do want to talk about is that I actually went from the Indy car to the Mazda, and more than likely what you're watching is that race, because I actually went straight from that car to the Mazda with, like, I don't know, 2 laps of preparation before getting into the race. And you can tell the driving is not, it's okay, but it's not spectacular, because I spent 2 laps plus, you know, another 2 laps in the warm-up getting used to the Mazda again, which was really hard. It was like, it's so hard to go from one car to the next. So what I do see for myself, though, is my routine is to kind of get online, practice for 45 minutes, and then get into a race, and then kind of bang around and get in bitch and moan like, I didn't perform all that well. So I see now that iRacing, the fruits of your labor, the 7 hours of work that I put in, showed up in the lap times that I was doing. And I was able to put down these, for me, they're fantastic, you know, and I hope to only get better. But the level of dedication for practicing for the Indy 500 is the same level of dedication I need to put into other races. So instead of just like practicing for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever for a race, especially if it's a difficult track for me, say like Lime Rock, I need to start dedicating 3-4 hours to get really good at these tracks, and then hit up that race after I've been doing it. Because I noticed that the Indy 500, what I usually do is I try to do like visual cues when I'm racing on road, and what I had found with the Indy 500 is it all just became muscle memory. You know, no longer, like, especially when I'm coming from the front straight into the turn 1, it's shadowed, and so it's really hard to see that turn in. Well, after a while, I just stopped thinking about it, and I was just doing it. It was amazing. Like, it got to the point where it was muscle memory, and I guess that's the point I'm getting to, is I need to get to that point with on a lot of other courses and all these other tracks with all these other cars, and I'm really, like I said, it's something that I actually really want to do, and it makes me seem like I'm like sitting here making some sort of life decision. You know, like I'm gonna become this iRacing phenom, and that's not the case. But it's I guess it's a level of discipline, and I'm discovering this obviously after I've graduated from college now, and I'm transitioning into grad school, which is going to require a lot of discipline and dedication. So I'm finding out that there are certain hobbies that I like, and the reason why I like them is they require so much dedication to perfect them. As I'm transitioning into grad school, which is going to require a lot of dedication for me to do well there. So the correlations right now, I think that's probably one of the more striking things about this, you know, when I think of it more of a global standpoint. So before I stray off way too far from my main topic, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And I really had a great time. And like I said, thanks again to Andy and to Robin. You guys helped me out tremendously. And thanks for everyone who came out to the stream and watched. If racing's not really your thing, but you came by the stream, I really appreciate it. That was awesome. I couldn't interact with you guys because I was too busy driving 200 plus miles an hour. So I hope you guys understand that. But I really appreciate all the support. It's been phenomenal. It was really cool to see that. So anyways, guys, like I said, thanks to everyone. And so thanks for subscribing, guys. Thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you guys later.